Hi, I'm Andrea Broomfield. I'm in my 11th year here at JCCC. I'm a professor of English. And this is
Kathleen O'Neill, and I teach math here. Andrea and I were hired in the same year.
That's right. We've been here for 11 years, and I came to JCCC after teaching as an assistant English professor at Wheaton College. And Kathleen's story is more interesting because she actually left industry, a lucrative career in industry, to come teach at JCCC.
A lucrative career which I found not continually satisfying. And when I discovered that I liked teaching, coming to JCCC was a real natural choice for me. I was working out in California, and I had an opportunity to go to community colleges out in California. And I said to myself at that time, if I ever have a chance to have my dream job, this would be it, teaching at a community college. And now I'm here, having my dream job.
And my story is similar to Kathleen's, even though I didn't come out of industry. I actually came out of a four-year college. I got to the point at Wheaton where I thought, I really am not very happy constantly teaching students how to prepare to get into Yale and Harvard PhD programs in English to become an English professor like me. So I had sort of one of these midlife crises when I was only 33 or 34. And I thought what I'd really be happy doing is teaching people a skill that they can use, and that's writing. So I resigned from Wheaton and I came to JCCC, and I have made a habit of always teaching writing classes as opposed to literature classes, because I think that that's something that makes me truly happy. I'm a writer, and so teaching writing all day long really helps me hone my own skills.
And I was using mathematics to solve problems in what we call the real world. And Andrea and I have been meeting together for several years now, usually on Thursday mornings, having a cup of coffee here at Java Jazz. And we talk a lot about food and academics and what makes a difference to us in our teaching. And several times we've come across key ideas that we've shared, both in English and mathematics.
We constantly help each other out, even though we have two fields that would look to be entirely dissimilar from one another. But the fact of it is that I think that our conversations really reflect what goes on among faculty at the college in general, which is constant sharing of ideas and strategies and support for dealing with students who come from such a wide variety of backgrounds and of aptitudes as well. But I wanted to say, and I think that Kathleen, you'd agree with me, that this college allows for amazing innovation and experimentation in ways that I've never seen before in my life. So anytime Kathleen and I want to try something, we get support to do it. So you got back from a math conference where you were able to learn new strategies for teaching math. Where was that at? Up
New Orleans.
New Orleans.
Oh, I know what you're talking about. Lesson study.
Lesson study.
That was in Wisconsin.
Okay. So you come back with these incredible ideas with your colleagues, and the math department begins to find ways to implement them. I get here and I decide I want to do more interdisciplinary teaching, and the next thing I know, I'm being funded to help pilot a Learning Communities program. Of course, we're talking a decade ago, so the Learning Communities initiative at our college is no longer an initiative, it's an actual institutionalized process. So we're constantly able to be innovative and creative, and in fact, I'd say if you're not innovative and if you're not creative, you start to feel left out really quickly.
I think
and
that's
it's not
true.
a good feeling.
I think that's true. The lesson study program that Andrea was referring to was actually started by Nancy Carpenter, and that idea came from her in the math department because she took a sabbatical to study how mathematics education differed in the United States compared to other countries. And she came up with this idea of implementing lesson study here at JCCC, and we're in our first year of getting that going now. So, and I'm very hopeful that this can really turn a corner for some students.
When Kathleen and I first started at JCCC, we went through this orientation, and I'll never forget that the person who was in charge of staff and faculty development at the time, Helen
Yes.
Helen Bernstead,
Yeah.
came in one day, and remember, we're all brand new. We don't really know where we are, what we're doing. And she showed the logo of JCCC on an overhead projector, because it was still overhead projectors at the time. And if you look at the logo, there's that one open petal. You remember this?
Yes.
And she said the reason that petal is open is because it emphasizes the fact that nothing at JCCC is ever finished, that we're constantly always looking, searching for new ways, new ideas, and innovation. And the fact that that petal is open has given printers and graphic designers all over the nation fits, because it's so difficult to create that logo with that one open petal. But in spite of the extra money we have to pay as a college for that, it's absolutely worth it. And I've always kept that in my mind.
Yes.
As I've worked at JCCC, that I have the ability to be creative, to be experimental, to share ideas, to get funding for those ideas. And it's exhilarating, and it keeps us young, even though we've been here now over a decade.
It's exhilarating and it's exhausting.